Hello. What happened to Astrobot? I don't know, I just got bored of it. I've heard that song so many times. Alright. Back today with another stream. I know, crazy. It's as if I do it every day. This one is a bit an hour later than the last one. I did want to start an hour ago, but I was too comfortable in bed. And that is just how it is. Oh, my Twitch token has expired for give me a sec. For Sammy, which I still have to switch off of because they are doing AI bullshit. But I haven't updated it. There we go. That should work. Okay. True and real. Yeah. Back at it again at Krispy Kreme. I haven't had Krispy Kreme all that much. Okay. I have to do the last of the March Patreon sketches. I think I've only got one left. One or two. Okay. We are going to do a TF into a jet. An anthro jet, I would assume. This is difficult. I haven't done that much vehicle TF before. Okay. I mean, I've done a plane TF before. Why am I getting event sub error 400? Go away. Go away. Okay. I'm just gonna move that over here so I don't see the warning. There we go. I just realized my music's not shuffling. So I'm going to click shuffle. There we go. All right. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Now, they sent me a reference, but it's from a Discord link, and it is no longer available. Which means I'm going to have to go looking. Let's have a little looky. Up. Okay. Click on that. Well, that's not helpful. Okay. Maybe I go to Blue Sky and try and see if they've posted it there. Nope. Well, that's annoying. I guess I'll message them and be like, hey, the Discord link is broken. I guess I'll work on something else. Da-da-da-da. There we go, they've sent it. Alrighty. This is going to be interesting. Can I get a yip? I don't know if that came through. I hope it did, because that was a really good one. Okay. They want my human form mid or beginning stages of TF in becoming my jet form. A male with brown hair, white skin, khaki shorts, and black shirt. They spelled khaki wrong. That's a hard word. Okay. Not really? Fuck. Well, I tried. One of those days where I don't really know what pose I want to do. Like I have a 1,000 poses in my mind, but I feel like there's stuff I've done recently, like all of them. Like I could do something really basic, and that might be fine. I could also do something really dynamic, but then it could get... Whenever I do dynamic stuff, I feel like it ages really quickly for me because I'm very quick to see the problems with the dynamic stuff compared to the more static, like, side-on drawings. I don't know. I guess I'll just start by drawing some shapes, see where it leads me. Actually, I think I've got an idea. Get, like, looking back behind yourself sort of thing. I don't know. It's interesting. This jet doesn't have a tail, which usually when I've seen Anthro jets, they actually do have a tail, which is curious to me. The jet tail discourse is alive. This needs to be brought back a little bit. What's the keyboard shortcut M? I gotta keep remembering M for marquee. M for marquee. Kind of, I always get meta when I talk about these streams, but this is like the only thing I ever think about when I'm streaming, so I'm just gonna talk about it. I'm studying like other streamers at the moment to like see what makes them interesting. Sorry, someone just fucking screamed from outside. I'm studying other streamers to try and see what makes them interesting, and it's all like so many of them are able to just like drop into this interesting character kind of like person. I don't know. They just have these like interesting personalities, I guess. And I don't know how to do that. I don't know. It seems to take so much energy for me to even just talk for an extended period of time. It's one of those things where I just think, you know, some people just aren't built to be entertaining. Even though I really, really want to be entertaining. It's very, very difficult for me to hold on to the energy that it seems to take. And I feel like as a baseline, I'm just kind of uninteresting to listen to. I don't know. It feels like that. And the thing that carries it is the art that I'm doing. This is a interesting angle for this leg. I think that works. That works well enough. Might have to come around like this a little bit more. I see other folks, like I've watched a bunch of well, a bunch of friends of mine, like Lenora and Quakey, are able to just, I don't know, hold an interesting and funny existence. I don't know what it is, and whenever I'm in a call with them, I just I kind of get entranced by how entertaining these people are to just be around. And I'm like, I just don't know how to force myself to engage with the world that way. Like, I really have been trying. It's just like, it seems to be a skill that's so natural for so many people. And then for me, I'm just like, I don't know what to even fucking say when there's nothing going on. Like, what do? I say like, oh, I slept. Did you know I slept last night? You know I slept in my bed last night? That's actually pretty crazy because I went to bed. And then I woke up in the morning. Lean into my voice acting skills. I'm happy to do that, but I've got no context. You know, it's like, I don't know. Like, what do I say? That's my thing. It's like, I don't know what to say. Yeah, and like in this moment right now, I got into a moment just then where I like got right back into my head, and then I started having a conversation with myself, and I'm like, wait, nobody can hear what I'm saying right now. I need to stop, and I need to like open my mouth again. And it's like, I don't know what to do. When I open my mouth, I'm like, blah, 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 blah. I can go blah, 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 blah. Fire track, literally. What is this track right now? Angel fire, true. I can go blee, blue, blee, blue, blee, blue. But that feels, I feel like that would be annoying. La 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 la. Fill the open air. Fill the air with sound. Fill it. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. Like, is that entertaining? I feel like it isn't. Like, that's really annoying. So, yeah. I don't know. And then I'm gonna, like, if I stop the conversation there, it's like, well, what do I say now? And I can just keep going like this. Like, I can keep saying, what do I say now? Because that's the only thing that's appearing in my brain at the moment. And when I turn on the stream, I'm like, oh, I actually have to say words. And I never do that, like, in normal like, in the world, when I go out into the world and I exist. I find it so hard. Do it with a smooth voice. I don't know how to do a smooth voice. My voice is piercing. My voice is piercing, and it grates on people's ears. But I want. I know I shouldn't be saying things like that, because that's not what people want to hear, right? It's like, you come to a stream for like an escape, and I'm like, well, what do I say? I get conflicting advice from people, because it's like, be your authentic self, but also don't be too negative. And it's like, guess what I am. Guess what my authentic self is. I'm pretty negative. I actually have a lot of hate in me. And I don't know how to not be like that. Well, I do know how to not be like that, but I don't know how to not be like that in an authentic way. You know what I mean? That sounds disingenuous to me. And does that mean that I'm just not fit for doing this sort of thing? See, this is the reason why I'm getting into this again, is because I was given advice yesterday that was like, you need to be more authentic. And I just kind of, I got frustrated, because I was like, what do you want me to do? You know, I can be as authentic as I can, but it'll just end up with me talking about wanting to be more authentic, because that's what I'm thinking about. Like, that is what my authentic self is thinking. But it just sounds like I'm coming off as, because I kind of am, coming off as like whiny. Lean into what you love, share your passions and what inspires you. Nothing inspires me. I don't get inspired by things. What now? Same? Yeah. I don't know what to talk about, because I don't have passions like that. I can draw and I can work. I'm really good at working. Because it fills the gap of monotony, you know, of like not having anything to think about, or like thinking too much about how fucked up the world is and how meaningless life is. You know what I mean? It's like, have I shared media that I like? I don't shows, books. I just watch whatever people tell me to watch, to be perfectly honest. Like, people are like, oh, you should watch this, and I'm like, okay, I'll watch it, and then I watch it and I'm done, and then I move on to the next one. And I like, things are cool and stuff, but nothing has ever, at least not recently, not in the last like 15 years, has ever really gripped me the way things used to grip me when I was a kid. I used to be really into Portal 2. I used to be really into Minecraft. I haven't played either of those in 15 years. Well, I played Minecraft more recently, but like, what's the bird on the left above the color changer? I did a drawing of, it's Kazooie from Banjo and Kazooie. And it's from somebody named FTK Artist. And I used her as a reference for a drawing, and then I just haven't gotten rid of her. That would be a fun replay of Portal. Well, I'm not interested in it anymore, you know. I was... What I'm saying is, like, that is something that used to grip me when I was a little kid. I'm showing how young I am compared to the rest of the world. Like, when that came out, I was, like, really little, and I was super inspired by it. But now it's like, well, that's an old... Like, that's old now. What inspires me now is whatever happens in a day, I guess. Which could be... It's usually just going to work and then, oh, I'm thinking of something. I don't know. I just get ideas in my brain. I've done the co-op campaign. I've done it twice. What inspires me is things that stop me from... things that make me want to get out of bed in the morning. It's probably a better way of putting it. Yeah, do I have depression? Probably. Doesn't mean... I mean, I've seen other people who seem to suffer from very similar things I do, but are very entertaining and funny, and I'm like, I don't know how to be like that. And I can just keep saying that over and over again, because that's all that ever goes through my brain when I'm streaming. I don't know how to be like that. I don't know how to be like that. I don't know how to be like that. And I'm like, maybe that's part of the reason why I find it so difficult to think of anything to say, because my brain just gets like all caught up in the presentation and the performance of it all. But then also I'm thinking, like, if I was just to lean back and like chill for a second, I would just stop fucking talking. And then what would I even talk about? What would I even... Like, if I stop talking, then there's nothing happening. You know, I mean, I can let the drawing speak for itself, but there's only so much interest people have in just a video of somebody doing a drawing. You know, the reason why people stream these things instead of just recording them is because the stream and the interacting with the person's part of it. And I genuinely, like, if I'm not yapping, then what's happening? You know, if I'm not yapping, then what's happening? That was an epic rhyme. I feel that. Have I ever looked into Portal Reloaded? Yeah, I have. I've played a bunch of Portal mods. Pretty much anything that came out pre-2016. If I haven't said a word in 3 seconds, I need an air horn. That's probably right. Most streamers are able to just say things over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. But if I don't say anything, all that goes on in my brain is white. It's like shh, like blah 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 because that's all that is happening in my brain all the time. Let's look at Portal mods. When did Portal Reloaded come out? Pretty much if it came out oh no, this is a 2021 mod, so no, I have not played that. Thinking in 4 dimensions? I don't know, man. I feel like I would be too stupid to play this. Oh, it's the one with the green portal. I have seen this. 2021, it's insane. Chat, calc is short for calculator. What are you talking about? You'll love it? I mean, I'll try and play it at some point, probably off stream, because playing video games on this stream has not boded well for me either, because I am not entertaining enough when I play games to be entertaining to people. The calc thing is some inane streamer meme I saw. See, this is another thing. I don't keep up. I'm not good at keeping up with the freaking memes. Meme is short for mega media? No, it's not. It's short for... I can't remember what it's short for. It's short for something else. Meme... It's like mnemonic or something? No, the word meme was like from like the 1800s or some shit. Or like the early 1900s. May. It's not short for that. Meme etymology. See, is this interesting? Me correcting people? Because that's the sort of thing that I do. Yeah, meme is intended to echo the word gene. It's short for, how do I say that? Memesthai? Which means to imitate. It's an imitation gene. We need a name for a new replicator, a noun that conveys the idea of a unit of cultural transmission, or a unit of imitation. Sorry, it's from 1976, by the way. It's not from fucking the 1800s. My meme comes from a suitable Greek root, but I want a monosyllable that sounds a bit like gene. I hope my classicist friends will forgive me if I abbreviate my meme to meme. If it is any consolation, it would alternatively be thought of as being related to memory, or to the French word meme. It should be pronounced to rhyme with cream. Richard Dawkins, The Selfish Gene, 1976. This is an Aeromorph TF. I got a glimpse of the ref when you zoomed out. It is an Aeromorph TF. 1976 might as well be the 1800s at this point. Yeah, for real. When you don't know what to talk about, press random on Wikipedia. That's fucking crazy. Did you ever do the Wikipedia game in high school? You love Aeromorphs? Yeah, they're pretty fun. I did the Wikipedia game in high school, which was like... I mean, we kind of came up with it. It wasn't the one where you have to, like, get two different... like, two disparate Wikipedia pages and try and connect them. It was different to that. It was more... Our Wikipedia game was... We would press the random button a number of times, and then we would have to read the page of whatever came up out loud, no matter what it was, for the next, like, paragraph. And it could be some weird fucking shit that came up. We would get, like, actors... We would get country... There was a lot of countries that always came up. Random, like... one-off politicians. We would get a lot of it was a lot of it was just people, so we would just read about random people and their escapades. Hey bruh, welcome to the stream. I hope you've been doing well. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. See, that was me trying to be more personable by adding a note to my voice. I've been watching, so the stream's topic is I'm talking about not being able to be very interesting. And so I've been studying other people, and I've been studying people like Azel Draws, Quakey, Lenora, Luli Live, I've been studying a bit of. I've been studying, what's his name? Seesaw, who's a friend of mine, and who was inspired to stream because I was streaming, and now he's like way more popular because he's very good at being entertaining and I'm not. And I'm just trying to figure out how these people do that. And I know that's really autistic of me, but the problem is that I'm really bad at it myself. So if I'm not like actively trying to learn how other people do it, then I'm just going to stay in my void of like silence for my whole life. It was Seesaw's birthday yesterday. How did you even know that? I didn't even know that. You seem to like Lemon Demon, same here. I'm using Lemon Demon because his music is non-copyrighted. You had it in your calendar. What the hell? How did you get that in your calendar? Probably from your stream last year? Oh yeah. Ugh. Ugh. Man. See, I feel like I've lost social points with Seesaw now that I forgot to celebrate his birthday. You know what I mean? It's like I've gone down on his ranking of people in his own mind. You not feel like you gotta pretend to be some... Oh wait, we're into TF? Yeah, I know, right? No. I am trying not to pretend to be somebody else. But the problem is, if I don't do that, if I'm my authentic self, I will turn on the stream, complain about some bullshit that no one wants to hear about, and then be silent for the rest of the stream. I am actively trying to keep my mouth moving right now, and I have been for the last 30 minutes, because if I don't do that, then I'm going to just shut up. And I don't know how to not do that and also be authentic, because I am a boring person. I have boring brain in me. I have a boring brain. And I may be able to achieve things academically. I don't know how anyone does it. I don't know either. You can be authentically quiet. Yeah, authentically fucking boring. I don't know how quiet people are able to be authentic either, because, well, I'm not a Fluttershy. I just don't speak because I've got so much happening in my brain, but it's just self-talk that is negative and that is no one wants to hear. It's just me being like, fuck, I hate this. Fuck, this is so stupid. Fuck, what's going on right here? Fuck, oh my god, this fucking drawing looks like fucking shit. And it's like, no one wants to hear me say that for like 2 hours. You know what I mean? So I need to be able to see. I'm really trying. If I stop trying like actively, I will just go quiet, and that is not me intentionally trying to go quiet. It is just like the physics of my brain. You think the drawing looks great? Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm not really that happy with it. Like if we're going to be authentic right now, I think this looks kind of bad. I think the pants look bad. I think this looks bad. I think that I don't really know what I want to do here. I don't know what I want to do with the other arm. I feel like I'm not going to be able to simulate all of these mechanical bits properly. Like brain physics. Yeah, I mean, what else do I say? Like chemistry, I guess. Chemistry, physics, whatever. I have a very difficult time coming up with things to say, and I'm going to keep repeating myself, because if I don't repeat myself, I will have nothing to say. You hate chemistry? Don't worry, I think it looks great. I appreciate that. That's another thing as well, like, something that I have learned to do, and this is because goes to show you're your own worst critic. I mean, yes, absolutely. Except other people seem to be able to ignore that. Artists are their own harshest critics. I know. Other people seem to be able to come up with other things to say in the meantime, rather than just have their brain on a loop of self-hatred, which is what my brain does 24 hours a day. Even when I'm fucking sleeping, I keep having dreams where people hate me. It's not good. Pause for pause. I don't know why that's not coming up. I did reconnect my Twitch to my thing. I need to keep saying words. Otherwise, I won't be able to do anything else with my brain. It did come up. Same, I hate everything I write most of the time. Redeem, pause for pause. Okay, let's do that. I don't know what you want. I don't know what kind... Oh, it did come up. It came up for you? Why did it not come up for me? Oh, now Sippy is coming up. Why is the sound not playing? That's what's getting me. The sound isn't playing for me. You saw it? Oh, okay. I don't have a drink with me right now. Sound came through? That's fucking weird. I am gonna draw a frog because I can. You'll sippy for me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, and I have another thing that I've learned where if somebody compliments my art, I need to just say, Frogpaw sounds nice? Yeah. I need to just say thank you and that I appreciate it, because in my mind, I am unable to take compliments for anything that I do. I just flatly am unable to accept it. And in my mind, when somebody gives me a compliment, I'm like, you don't fucking mean that. You know, that's literally like the first thing that always comes up in my brain. And if or somebody will say, I think that looks really good. And my brain will go, well, I think it looks like fucking shit. And like, that is just not something that people want to hear. That is mean. That is mean. And whilst I am not intending to be mean and I don't mean it as a mean thing, that's just how it comes off to people. And so I can't say that. But the problem is, if we're talking about being authentic, that is the authentic thought that I'm having. The authentic thought that I'm having is, I think it looks like shit. But if I say that, people will get upset because I am I'm putting down their compliment and I'm reducing them as a person. It's like they're going out of their way to give me a compliment and then I'm just kind of ignoring it. And it's like, well, that's an example of be authentic, but don't actually be really authentic, like for real. Like, be authentic to the point where it makes people interested in you, but not to the point where people are actually getting upset at you. And that is really hard for me. I don't know how to balance that. I don't have the right chemical makeup or whatever you call it in my brain to be able to balance that properly. And so if I will dip between the extremes of completely faking everything and being really boring because I'm not actually saying anything that I'm actually interested in, and then just completely obliterating people because I have so much self-doubt and self-hatred that it just rubs off on everybody else and nobody wants to be around me. And it's like, I don't know how to balance that. I don't know how to make that into something that people are entertained by or interested in, but I want to keep doing it. I want to keep streaming because I want to keep getting better at it, because it's something that I really am inspired by. I'm inspired by other people who stream. I find it really interesting. I really want to be somebody as entertaining as Seesaw or as entertaining as Luli or anybody else who I've mentioned. And I want to be able to I want to have that be my whole life. And I know I say often I want to be able to make a living out of it. What I really mean by that is I want to be able to live doing it all day, every day. I want to be able to draw all day and not have to worry about money. And the only way I can see of doing that is to be able to make a living out of it. So whenever I say I want to be able to make a living out of my art, it's just me saying I love art so much that I want to do it all day and I don't want to have to do anything else. And I really wish that I could just do that without having to ask for money and without needing money. Like, if I didn't need money to live, I would literally not take commissions. I would just take requests all day. And I would just be like, I'll just draw whatever you want, because I just love doing that. And I love being an inspiration to people like that. But unfortunately, we live in a world where I need to be able to make rent. I need to be able to buy food. And so I continue. So I continue and I try my best to make myself entertaining and make myself interesting to people, because I want to be able to do this all the time. Hey, Syndrake. Hey, Kyrio. Welcome. Money, the real dream killer. I know. I'm a little bit... So I'm Kyria. I'm trying to be authentic today. I'm trying to be an authentic person. I'm trying to make myself more interesting for people. And I'm trying to talk constantly so that I am more interesting in the stream, and so that I can make the stream more entertaining, I guess. And so being authentic, I want to say to you, Kyrio, I'm worried that, because you said, you've asked me to make a piece of music, and you said it was due on Tuesday, which is today for you. And so I'm assuming that it's already too late. I literally haven't had a second to be able to work on it. I've been working literally the entire time. So if it's already too late, I'm sorry, but I have literally not had a single second to work on it. I hope I am still able to at some point and that it's not too late, but I hope that you are not upset with me just because I literally haven't had a second. Okay, you can always update later. Awesome. That's perfect. But yeah. I'm working on an Aeromorph TF, which is something that I have not done before. It isn't a slight, but you definitely have the depression autism combo, so you can probably get Centrelink monies from that. I just threw on that Kevin MacLeod track. Yeah, that's fair. You're getting 1.2k a fortnight. I probably can, but I know how stressful it is being on Centrelink, and I have looked into it before, and I've had friends that have been on it. It is upsettingly stressful being on Centrelink. And I know that I could do that, and I could take a chance to jump to doing art full time and just go on Centrelink, and maybe I should. You've never had that experience? Well, the problem with me is that I am not only depressed and have autism and ADHD and all of that, and I've been diagnosed for it, but I'm also really stubborn. And I get really paranoid that people don't like me. And I worry that that comes off when I call people in Centrelink and stuff, or like if I go on JobSeeker. Because if I go on JobSeeker, it's like, well, at that point, they're trying to get me to get another job, but I'm trying to make money off of the job that I'm on right now, which is doing art. Am I making any sense at all? I really don't think I'm making any sense at all. I can agree, they tend to make you feel like shit just for being on it. Centrelink is a government income subsidy. It's like being on... I don't know if America has an equivalent. It's what would it be in America? It's like an income subsidy. I don't understand anything ever, so I'm just as confused as I always am. Hell yeah. We'd call it welfare? Okay. Well, it's the equivalent of welfare. Checks for people who can't work for it, yeah. I also am proven, like, I don't know how much of a difference it would make to me, but I'm a proven, like, employee. Like, I've been at this job for 3 years. And I'm completely capable of working. And I am not good at pretending that I'm not good at things. Welfare for disability, yeah. I don't think I really have a disability. Well, I don't know if it counts as a disability or whatever, but whatever the case is, I'm able to work. Like, I'm able to do a job, and I feel like it's pretty obvious that I'm able to do a job, and I don't think I would be able to get on anything like that. But another thing is that I also... that wouldn't be enough money for me to live, unfortunately. 1.2k a week would not be enough to live where I currently live, which is kind of insane. Sorry, did you say 1.2k a week, right? Oh, fortnight. Sorry, yeah. 1.2k. Sorry, 1.2k a week would be just enough. 1.2k a fortnight would not be enough. I unfortunately, the place that I live, like the location that I live, and not the house, I just mean the city, is really fucking expensive. And I could move, and I've been thinking about doing that. I've been thinking about moving down to Melbourne, where it's like way cheaper to live, which I think would help me quite a lot. So maybe I'll do something like that. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not serious enough about doing art full time, you know? Maybe that's why. Maybe I think it's just because I'm scared, honestly. Where am I right now? I'm in Brisbane. Do it? I know you want me to do it. You fucking live in Melbourne. I'm in Brisbane right now, which historically has actually been cheaper than Melbourne to live in, but post-COVID, when a bunch of people moved up to Brisbane because we handled the COVID outbreak better than a lot of places, it all of a sudden became the most expensive place to live in Australia, like literally 2 years before I moved out of my house. And then now at the same time, I'm trying to get a driver's license, and all of a sudden prices for fuel are now the most expensive they've ever been. It's like, I feel like I am constantly chasing independence, like financial independence. I have financial independence, but I'm constantly chasing like independence from like a landlord, independence from Uber, and having my own car, having my own house. I feel like I'll never get there because I'm constantly chasing the rise in prices whilst also trying to make more money, trying to get a raise from my job. I'm a junior in my job at the moment, even though I've been working there for years, and I am now doing full stack senior work in my job. And they still haven't given me any sort of significant raise. My fellow workers, my fellow team members who have been here less time than me in my job are all making more money than me, even though I'm a senior. And I'm really fucking trying to get out of that job because it fucking sucks. A fellow Queenslander, welcome to Queensland, the cancer capital of the world, skin cancer central. Truly born at one of the times in history. It's absolutely insane. It sucks. I'm just trying to live my life. See, this is the sort of stuff I will start talking about if I am just left to my own devices. And I feel like nobody on a stream wants to hear me talk about that. Who coming to Furdu? I'm coming to Furdu. I feel you about chasing independence. It's fucking so hard. So... And I mean, that just compounds it, right? Like, I'm also trying to chase this independence. I want to be able to do whatever not whatever I want, but I want to be able to follow my passions and make money from it. Every time I hear more and more about adulting... Oh, hey, by the way, hello, Mira. I don't know if I said hello to you when you joined, but hello. Welcome to the stream. It's good to have you here. I'm working on your commission right now. Every time I hear about adulting, I get more and more scared I ain't ready for this shit. Yeah. The problem I feel like is that I am ready. Like, I'm ready to put in work to try and make money, to try and run a business, to try and stream every day, get up at 6 in the morning so that I can actually have time to eat breakfast, eat healthy, go to the gym, which I'm doing, sleep for 8 hours, which I'm trying to do, drink a bunch of water, which I'm doing. I'm trying to take care of my body, and then I'm also trying really, really hard to work as much as I can. I'm currently working on Down the Rabbit Hole because I feel like there are good opportunities there that I don't want to miss out on. I'm trying to work on Patreon because that's a good opportunity that I don't want to miss out on. I'm trying to stream because I feel like I'm seeing friends of mine stream and getting like... I think people resonate with what you're saying and there's value in that, even if it's not fun. It's not like you're just complaining for complaining's sake. I don't know if I wholly agree with that. I feel like I do complain for complaining's sake quite often, and I try not to be like that. And I worry that I will just repeat myself every stream if I am streaming every day and I have nothing else to talk about, because what's on my mind lately is just this stuff. Like, it's all on my mind lately. And I worry that if I'm left to my own devices, I'll just be talking about the same thing every day. But maybe it's not. Maybe I won't be able to... maybe I won't be doing that if I actually just continue talking. This particular case is quite relatable, to be fair. I understand that. It's definitely something that everybody's experiencing at the moment. Making a space to talk it out is good, though. Okay, fair enough. I stand corrected. If people are interested in it, then I'm happy to talk about it. Because it's definitely... Like, I may not be as inspired by things like movies and video games and better out than in, as Shrek would say. Better out than in. That's true. That's very true. I have layers. Just like an ogre, just like an onion, I have layers. There aren't many layers to me that are video game related or like pop culture related. I've been watching Digital Circus, Amazing Digital Circus. It's pretty inspiring. I don't really care about talking about it. I've been watching Hell of a Boss, also pretty inspiring. Don't really care about talking about it. What I am interested in talking about is things like I want financial independence from, and I'm talking like not from parents. I'm talking from landlords, from like Uber, from you know, stuff like that. You love Digital Circus? It's alright, it's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's like groundbreaking or anything, but it's been interesting. You hate Hell of a Boss? I don't know, I like that. I like Hell of a Boss. I think it's pretty good. I also find the character designs very attractive in Hell of a Boss, but that's a whole thing. What about asking in chat what they've been engaging in to find stuff you can... Look, I'm happy to do that. I've done that previously, and I haven't gotten responses before, and that makes it really awkward. And I know not everyone is an active chatter. There are a lot of lurkers watching me, and I really appreciate you being here, and you absolutely do not have to talk. I don't want to have to rely on asking chat things, because I don't get an active chat all the time. If I was someone like entertaining like Quakey, if I was somebody like Azel, somebody like Seesaw who has an active chat, and look, none of you guys, I love that you're all here. This is nothing against anyone who's here. It's just the situation. And the situation is that sometimes I ask chat things and then nothing happens. That's totally normal because there are lurkers, and I'm a streamer who hasn't streamed very often, and I'm a streamer who is still trying to figure out how to be an entertaining person, and it's hard for me to rely on that. And that's not a slight against anyone, that's just the situation. I love Hell of a Boss characters, I just hate the show and the writing, the songs and the everything that isn't the characters. Yeah, that's fair. There is a lot that that kind of grates me about that show, but the character designs and the way that they're acted really kind of does it for me, so I don't know, I don't mind. Yeah, the characters are hot. Yeah, exactly. Would TF. Yeah, absolutely. Luna is my absolute favorite. Although I really like Moxie as well. And I also like Stolas as well. There are a lot of them. There's good ones. Animation's good? Yeah, it is. Stolas is the best? Yeah, Stolas is pretty good. But yeah. Those three for sure, yeah. Stolas my weakness. Kai, Luna, TF, when? I don't know, I feel like I worry that... I don't know. Something about doing character TF makes me feel weird. It's like I'm including another person in my fetish art. You know what I mean? That's why I haven't historically been a huge fan of character TF. Why when I started I didn't really do much Pokemon TF. I've come around to Pokemon TF after years of being weird with it, but just character TF in general, I feel like, you know, this is like, characters aren't actually alive, right? They're just like structures. But for some reason, my brain is still like, I don't know how I feel about doing a TF into that. That's why OCs are awesome. Exactly, yeah. If it helps, I'm not a particularly entertaining streamer. I don't even use a mic 90% of the time. I don't try to make money off of streaming though. I just do it to force myself to work consistently. That's another reason why I stream. I also do it because I know that it's a way that I can make money. But the main reason I do it is because it gets me to work on stuff. Because then I actually have like a I'm like culpable, right? It's like people are expecting me to draw at a certain time, and if I don't, then people will come to me and be like, "Hey, where were you?" And then that gives me enough motivation to like continue doing it. What is the other arm under the wing? Peer pressure. Is the other arm under the wing? I haven't actually drawn it yet. I'm kind of procrastinating it. I don't really know where to put it. I also only do it once a month. Yeah, that's true. I try to do it every weekday. I might put the other arm back here, actually. No, you had a good point. I actually hadn't drawn the other hand or the other arm yet. I do this interesting thing where sometimes I will draw one arm and then I will not draw the other one, just kind of because I don't know why. I don't know why I do that. It's really... I honestly don't know why I do that. Yeah, but anyway. Yeah, I don't even know what I was talking about anymore. I just completely lost it to the hell of a lost conversation. Oh yeah, that's right. I am not as inspired by media as a lot of people are. I get more inspired by the creation of media and people in the world. It's why, and I'm going to be bringing up a bit of politics here, so I apologize, but look, that's just how I live my life. Okay, actually, I don't apologize because politics is a big part of my life. When Five Nights at Freddy's came out, I did not at all really care about the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, and I never have. And I didn't care about the scares of Five Nights at Freddy's. I didn't care about much at all, or even the art, really. I cared about the game design. And I was really inspired by the story of Scott Cawthon, who had these kind of rudimentary game design skills and these rudimentary programming skills and used this really old... Alright guys, time to get political. Talks about FNAF. If you think FNAF isn't political, you don't know anything about Scott Cawthon. Because I'm about to get into it. With the feet, they're like shark feet. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I'll do that. This one might take me a while. I'll probably be working on it during my lunch break or something. Because I've been talking a lot, and that's actually fine. FNAF is very political. Scott Cawthon himself inspired me to get into game design. Because he's this guy who has been unsuccessful for years. And suddenly was like, oh, hey, people are saying this about my games. People are saying this about my art. I'm going to lean into it. People were saying it was scary and it looked like horror. I'm going to lean into it. I'm going to design a game with my simple game design skills. Is it political outside of the fact that Scott was donating to politics? No, that's what I'm going to talk about. Scott Cawthon inspired the fuck out of me for years. And I was like, I want to be like that. I want to be somebody who can take rudimentary skills and can turn it into something that inspires people. And I see him and I'm like, I don't need to be an expert at what I do to be able to inspire people. And that really pushed me into game design because I was like, look, I like maths, I like writing music, I like drawing, I like 3D modeling, I like programming, I like direction. And I wanted to combine them all into an art form, which just happened to be game design, because that seemed to be the thing that balances out all of my disparate interests into like a single art form. I would say that game design is more of a museum of art rather than an art form of it in and of itself. I don't remember who said that originally, but I liked that they said that. They were like, the games are like a museum of art. They aren't just one piece of art in and of themselves. And I really like that. And so I got into game design because of Scott. I followed FNAF because of Scott. It's why I was never as interested in Undertale, just because there wasn't as much of that development story there. And I don't really give a shit about the lore or about the characters or anything. I'm way more into the human who created it. It's also one of the reasons I really like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. The characters are fun and all. I prefer his artistic journey as like a human. That is what interests me about JoJo, is Hirohiko Araki himself. And how he was late to the party. He didn't think he would be able to write because he was already older than all of his peers who were getting into making manga. But he still managed to figure out his own path and like has now bound himself as a person. I'm way more into the man behind the slaughter. I guess I am. I guess you could say that I am. Yeah, and then when Scott started donating to the right wing, I was like, well, that's fucking sucks. And now all of FNAF is like tainted for me. This like childhood, and it was childhood for me because yes, I'm young. I'm only 25. I was 13 when FNAF came out. Like FNAF 1. So it is my childhood fucking teenage journey or whatever. And it makes me feel sad because, you see, the thing about Toby Fox is that he comes off as like kind of up himself, and I don't really like that. He seems to me, and this is the same thing about the guy who voice acts Rivali. Like, he's also a kind of a character. I don't like him either. He seems really fucking annoying. Toby Fox also kind of seems annoying to me. I prefer people who are way more like chill and like aren't necessarily going out there and, you know, fucking learning Japanese because he likes Japanese so much, and then getting himself in Smash Bros. and you know, getting his characters in Smash Bros. Like Toby Fox, it's not that I don't know about him, it's that what I have learned about him makes me not like him. Maybe he's a nicer person than that. I feel I much prefer somebody like Temmie, who is one of his artists, who is draws the dog, the funny dog. Temmie seems a lot more like my speed. Toby Fox seems really fucking annoying. So yeah, I think that's kind of more clearly what I was getting at there. Yeah. And so when I go into a piece of media and I'm like, what is interesting about this? Usually it's the production. Usually it's the people who contributed to it. This is one of the big reasons why I'm really against the use of AI, because it literally destroys the one part of media that I have the most passion for, which is the people. TFWen, that's not out of the question. That's not out of the question. Tem is just enough not a character for me to be more interested in doing a TF into Tem. It would be fun. I'm sorry that I haven't been drawing. I've just kind of been yapping. This has actually been a really good exercise for me. So I really appreciate you all being there to just kind of chat. Because it's very difficult for me to trust that I will have anything interesting to talk about. Tem isn't a character, it's a lifestyle. It's so real. I love Tem's fucking feed of just making herself into like a loaf and just putting it in everything. I think it's the funniest shit. So Tem is a species, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Brain empty, no thoughts, only Tem. That's terrifying. But yeah. All this is to say, I'm here to talk about things that aren't necessarily what other people want to talk about, which is why I get a little bit worried sometimes that I'm not being very interesting. Especially because, you know, with Scott Cawthon, I'm really sad about Scott Cawthon because I was so inspired by him for half of my entire life. You don't like Empty Brain post TF? I fucking love Empty Brain post TF. I don't know where you got that from. If you misinterpreted something I said, I apologize. But I like talking about this stuff, and I'm really sad that Scott Cawthon started donating to Trump. I'm sorry to bring it up, but it really destroyed me for a while. Brain empty only Tem seem terrifying. It is terrifying, but it doesn't mean I don't like it. The T word, yeah. That really destroyed me. And it was very difficult for me to find new inspiration for a while. Terrifyingly cool, in a way. I have found new inspiration. I found inspiration in people like Davey Reedon, who made The Beginner's Guide, which is one of my favorite games of all time. Not because of, I mean, the game itself is pretty cool. I like the story, but I like the story because it's the story of a development of somebody. It's a story about somebody, about a seemingly real person and a seemingly real situation that Davey Reedon found himself in. And I find that fucking fascinating, and I want to write stories like that, but I'm too scared to, because I don't know if I'll be able to do any stories like that justice, because it is so delicate to handle stories that are so real like that. Davey did it fucking fantastically in The Beginner's Guide. And I feel like any stories that I tell will kind of be a little bit depressing, but that's just kind of how my life has been. My life is a little bit depressing. It's actually a lot depressing. I was honestly thinking of recommending The Beginner's Guide because you said you like developers more than games. Makes sense that you've already experienced it. Yeah, I have. Davey Reedon is one of my, if not my favorite game developer. He probably is my favorite game dev, just because Scott Cawthon used to be and he no longer is. I have yet to play Wonder Stop, which was also written by Davey Reedon. I want to give it the time that it deserves, so I'm kind of waiting until I get a proper vacation to be able to play it, just by myself all the way through. Like I did with Stanley Parable, like I did with Ultra Deluxe, like I did with The Beginner's Guide. Davey Reedon's stuff is fucking amazing. If you haven't heard of The Beginner's Guide and you're interested in what I've been talking about, I would recommend going into it and just turning it on and playing it. And I know that's a really annoying recommendation. It's not a hard game. It's literally a walking simulator. It's basically just a movie that you play. But I really recommend it because it was a formative experience for me. It's my favorite game of all time. And it tells a really compelling story that I relate to a lot. Because if you know anything about The Beginner's Guide, I have been Davey Reedon in that situation. I have been that person, and I never want to be that person. Basically, Stanley, whatever convinces you to play it, it's not like the Stanley Parable at all. Whatever convinces you to play it without looking at it, just go for it. It is fantastic, and I recommend that everybody play it at least once. And don't look up any guides, just play it. It's not hard, it doesn't have any secrets, it's not a puzzle game, it's just a walking sim. That's all it is. I know the story and think it's really interesting. Yeah, it is, and I relate to it a lot. Sounds too depressing and real? That's fair. That's fair. Just wishlisted? Yeah, hell yeah. It is pretty depressing, but it's also very entertaining. And I'm actually now want to play it again for like the 5th time because now I've been thinking about it. So yeah, that's, I guess, you've got me. You got me there. You found a piece of media that inspires me. Well done. You got me. But yeah, it's fucking amazing. This hand is bad. I'm sorry. I I don't think you need to be afraid of making something depressing, by the way. If you make something real, there will be people who like it. That's fair. That's very fair. Your jet form is bigger than your human form. Good to know, good to know. Me as an archivist, I know the fear of being parasocial about it. Yeah. No, that's fair. What is this music playing right now? Like big. It's like mid TF. I don't want to like. Yeah. I'm gonna do a mid TF. I'm enjoying just giving this human robot bits. I don't really know how I'm going to. This has been kind of a hard one. I've been kind of procrastinating it a little bit while talking. But yeah. No, I feel like I've really made a breakthrough today, and I really appreciate everyone being here too. The TF hand is the size of the old body big. I've seen TFs like that. I'm not a fan of them, but I have seen them. You're fine? Cool. Thank you. You're fine too, by the way, Miro. Just letting you know. I love messing with proportions like that. I know Superboo does a lot of it. Or I guess they call themselves Birdo now. Unfortunately, I do have to go to work. But I'm going to try and stream again tomorrow. Probably about an hour earlier than I streamed today. I did say that yesterday. I'm going to keep trying to stream just a little bit earlier because I do want to spend more time streaming. And I feel like I'm doing pretty well kind of figuring out where my streaming identity is. I feel like today I've made a lot of progress with that, and I really appreciate everyone being open to help me experiment with that. I write a lot of explorations of identity because it's something I struggle with. Almost all my personal projects are about post-TF being an exploration of identity. Yeah, and I think I would do that too. Lapis, what have we got here? Hey Lapis, I'm sorry, I'm about to finish the stream. This is an Aeromorph TF. But unfortunately I have to go to work. So I'm going to raid into... Let's raid into Quakey, because she's always awesome. Make sure to give her lots of love from me, and go and yip at her, because she deserves yips. We'll do a Kobold raid. Kobold raid! Kobold raid! Yip, 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 yip. All right. Everyone can copy paste that. You were about to go there? Well, there we go. We're going, heading off to Quakey. Hope you have a good one, Kai. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you, Kyrio, Lapis, Mira, Tim Tam, Ghosty, Ruben. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you, bruh. If I'm forgetting everyone, I'm sorry. I'm just going to read the thing. Thank you, bruh. Thank you, Dragon92, Ghosty, Tim Tam, Kyrio, Mira, Nagadian, Nugan, Ruboy, Sergers, Sindrake, Val. Thank you all. No, thank you, Streamer Man. You're very welcome. Oh, also, happy Trans Visibility Day, by the way. Everyone, have a good day. Say I love you to a trans person today. Go kiss a trans person. Don't do that. That's sexual harassment. Thank you all. I'll see you tomorrow. True trans are visible today. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you all have a lovely day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye. And I'll also finish this during my lunch break. Go look at a trans person. Go do that. And I'm going to send you to a trans person right now. I'm probably a future trans person. I don't know if I'm trans yet. I don't know what counts as that. I probably am, right? Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye.